a less than ideal record on Ancient. I still have to give them the edge as far as firepower is concerned. But Reason, they have experience, they have some fresh blood in, they have a desire and a need to get a win here. And the way CS2 has been playing, it can be a little weird, can be a little awkward, but we're going to hop into Anubis. First map of this series. And we are going to have our pistol round here. Nate, no dual Berettas for Reason. Just the kit on Grape. Everybody else, USPs and P2000s. P250 raid boss for Dare. And there's the opener. On to Heisa.
A solid start towards E-Box. The USP players trying to take the fight at range. It makes sense versus Glocks. Not against a P250, especially not a super soldier like Dare. Sniper with the sniper rifle and a sniper with the P250. Dane and Beaky still maintaining their positions over towards A. One Heaven, one towards Pillar. They're actually going to fall back into A main, holding, fearful of that mid push. And they make the right call. Consti spearheading this push is caught, felled by one Shane. A good trade, though. The second towards Long fares no better. Frankie takes him down. That's Beaky. Dispatched. Grape and J-Dubs both going on this flank and both spotted by Snav up the carpets. He'll find one. He'll find them both. Badass take their pistol round on the T side of Anubis to start things off. We're going to come back to the cameras, ladies and gentlemen. A brief technical pause, technical issue. Again, CS updates. It's CS2. The game is still finicky. And so, of course, we're going to have these kinds of issues. Hopefully, they will be brief like they have been thus far for CS2's lifetime.
Yeah, now that actually makes me think. Why don't we talk about the updates made for Anubis, our map number 1? They adjusted grenade clipping in and around B to prevent grenades from getting stuck in the tight spots. Multiple issues where weapons were dropped and clipped through the world, including holes and cracks in the world too. More missing geometry and clipping things, and a couple light map issues around the CT spawn water as well. But a lot of it has to do with clipping and player visibility throughout all of these maps, Nate. And improved readability for players in mid too. We saw a lot of mid fights that were pretty weird in our qualifier over the past 2 days from South America. A lot of Anubis, a lot of mid fights, and sometimes people just kind of going overlooked.
Yeah, I think a big thing that I've been noticing is a lot of players playing niche, weird off angles where the background obfuscates their outlines so you don't really spot them immediately. Any sort of advantage, whether it be milliseconds or full seconds, can be the difference between 1 kill and 2 or 2 and 3 even. So those weird kind of niche angles and hard to read spots are definitely annoying, and those kinds of updates are good for quality of life, but also good for the health of the game because, let's be honest, a player clipping or blending into the background in a competitive shooter like this, a round-based shooter, definitely does not belong.
No, it doesn't. There's a lot of things that still need to be fixed in CS2. I was disappointed to see the lack of a bomb radius fix on Nuke in particular. That's been something I have been really looking for since CS2 has become the mainstay, the flagship Counter-Strike game, but we haven't been able to get that. But Nate, I do like how they are really focusing on improving player visibility. And that's also been something that they had to work on too when they introduced agent skins into the game so long ago now, or especially on Overpass, there were so many different spots you could blend in and basically go entirely invisible. I'm thinking, remember the slats where you had that one skin, it literally looked like you blended in with the background.
I'm thinking about Cash with all the green skins, honestly.
Yeah.
I think that might have been the main reason Cash wasn't added. Because of all those camouflages, the realistic green colors and backgrounds really made it kind of difficult and annoying to just spot anybody. And keep in mind, at that point, about half the skins were all green for the defense.
Yep.
So it really made things even more difficult for the T side than it already was on Cash.
Nate, I do have an update. We do have information on Heisa being in here on the roster. This is from Mello himself. Mello says that Heisa is just subbing on the roster until the map restrictions or the games played restrictions are filled, and Beaky will be opping until that is done. So, there we have our news on why Heisa is in for Reason right now.
Makes sense. There's a lot of technicalities. That was kind of what hamstrung Bad News Bears as well for their season in ECL.
Series you have to play.
Half the season, basically. And that can really sink your ship. To say the least, especially if you have to kind of play with players who don't really gel well or who are kind of done with the season or done with the game overall. Really can put a dent in your plans going forward. Again, as we mentioned, I think when Bad News Bears was first announced, we were really hot on them, but because of that technicality and that restriction, they've had a rough go at it. Again, 2-10 in this season of ECL thus far. It sounds like our tech issue should be wrapping up shortly, Boggs. Again, to remind you, this is the pick of Reason, and they just lost the pistol round versus Badass, who are on the T side of Anubis.
Yeah, they lost the pistol round. We've seen pistols be very impactful. We've also seen teams win pistol, win second round, and then win one more out of the half and get blown out of the water. So you can win the pistols, but you need to put some rounds around them too. They cannot stand in isolation. It's the same with Go, but the last stat I saw, this is about a week old now, but teams that have won both pistols and converted both second rounds had a 78% chance of winning the game, or a 78% win rate of winning. So when you're winning the pistols, there's a lot more importance in MR13 than MR15, but you still have to do the work around the pistols, and Reason are going to try and hamstring that with a nice little 4-spy here, Nate. Couple deagles, 2 5.7s, and a good amount of HEs to throw these down. Maybe an A main stack, maybe a B main stack, something out towards middle. Could even be a Canals artillery strike. So we'll see what goes through here on this 4-spy.
Could definitely find success. We've seen Deagles at heads, 5.7s as well, spamming away. There is no kit though, so Reason are looking to rebuke a take onto a site outright. They're not looking for a post-plant retake. Or at least not one with without a significant advantage, excuse me. Badass playing slower though, holding A main, spotting B, holding middle. It's covering all their bases and waiting for Reason to make a move. They want to get a read of the situation. Are Reason forcing? Are they on USPs? Once they get that information, they can make a game plan from there.
All this mid-control, or mid-possession for Badass. Now they start to really take control of it. Maybe putting those new visibility changes to practice as well. Stack is heavy on A, though, for Reason. Badass need to be very careful working their way in towards the site. Great. Just holding. Waiting. Dare as well. Looking for a push. Now Reason start to spread out a little bit more, and they're going to go in towards A, into the stack. There's only 3 here, not 4. Consti, Dare, the entries. Dane trades one back, but he has grabbed the AK, and he can stay alive with the armor on his body. Mac 10 push, denied, and Beaky pops another, rings the bell of shame. This is where things get messy for Badass on the post plant. They're down a man, and Frankie's 31 HP, pushing in towards heaven. Grape destroyed. Beaky, Dane, the last 2 alive. They do know where Dane is, and he's been spotted up on Pool. Sprays out wide. Snav is still alive, but Frankie is gone. All up to Snav now as Dane will hold the bomb in that smoke. That's not even going to matter as Beaky hits the 1 dig. Reason strike right back. Precisely what they need.
Beaky and Danejoris playing back and forth, ping and pong, hitting one in A main, falling back, forcing them to take the fight to him. And then the Deagle from heaven chiming in, blindsiding one on the site, and getting even more as well towards exit as the round concludes. Reason, a very solid response to the pistol round victory of Badass Gaming. And now it's their turn to be in the driver's seat. Badass, they did get a bomb plant, which gives them a little bit of extra cash, but not much. They're actually going to go for a save rather than force into the 4-spy wars that we see all too often. It's going to be Deagles, a pair of them on Frankie and Dare. 3 Glocks surrounding. Meanwhile, Reason have rifles across the board, one being a FAMAS for J-Dubs. He also has no helmet, so he might fall to one of these pistols. There's a P250 recovered for Consti as well. But Reason should stand to find this round.
This is a very good opportunity for Reason. Only a couple of Deagles and a P250 to oppose them. And a chance to establish a strong CT economy early on in half number 1, map number 1. They still have a good amount of utility in hand as well, which will help out later in the round when the eventual hit does come through. But Badass playing so tentatively is something to be exploited potentially by Reason, where they can take map control while their opponents are playing so pensive.
Yeah, the nervousness could definitely work in their favor, but around like this, Reason don't want to or need to push. It's against pistols. There's no utility for a take. Just one flash for a pop play, perhaps. So Reason have a right to rest and wait. 30 seconds left. Just about. Looks like an A split might be on the cards. Heiza behind the pillar will be first contact. He's been swinging occasionally. You should get timing here. One found. Good headshot. A second and a third spotted, but the spray not connecting. That's unfortunate. Dane is now between a rock and a hard place. It's pistols. He'll find 1, 2, 3. Not meant to be. Frankie spams him away with a deagle towards the body. 8 seconds left. Just enough to get the bomb plant. That is what they really wanted in this round. Reason let that one go, but now they need to focus on making the round clean. Keep the 3 players remaining alive and win the round. Shut it out. J-Dub the first. Frankie making it even more expensive, finding one more before he finally falls. 2 AKs recovered for J-Dubs and Beaky. We have another technical issue, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of or not technical perhaps, but maybe just a brief stop here. Again, we should be back in very shortly. Sounds like there have been technical issues all day due to the CS2 update, if I had to guess, but we should be back in shortly. Reason taking 2 rounds in a row to the one of Badass, but that round does not instill confidence.
No, it doesn't. It's a shaky round, and it's really something that gives a little more, I would say, a little more life to Badass. It's like, hey, we just got shut down by the pistols, but we just did some damage too. We're hopping right back in here. The bomb plant really helps out for the T's economy. Frankie eats a nade, though, early on, and is down to literally half HP. It's not often you get to see a full 50 HP nade, although it's becoming more and more common in CS2. Snav takes some spray damage through Canal, through that E-Box smoke to 68. There's no real contact, no real commitments from either side, both just kind of sticking their toes in the water, testing out the temperature. But there's the entry for Snav. He takes a ding through the wall. He lands the killer blow onto Beaky. There's a good start here for Badass in this round, but they still have more players to find. And the B-side's been completely abandoned by Reason. They don't have mid-control, they only have Canals. And now Dare grabs one from Carpets from the looks of things here. J-Dubs is still also lurking around. And this mad scramble goes back to B from Reason. Too proactive, Nate.
Overthinking perhaps. J-Dubs now as a flank. Might even spot 1 or 2 in middle. He'll take the kill onto Frankie. Won't get overly assertive, overly confident. You should know now that the play's probably towards B. The remaining pair are on the site. Heiza and Danejoris. Dane up close. Might be the first one tested. He takes a shot. Misses. Preemptive. And Shane will shut him down. Heiza stuck shooting between goalposts. And J-Dubs dropping down. Tries to be the hero. He'll only find 1 for his troubles. Another round for Badass. So they tie things up. Money for Reason. Not good. Seems like they're going to force off of it as well. It's going to be pistols and armor. We've seen these work before. But surely Badass will shore up those issues that led to that victory.
And now, it's pistols again for Reason. It's been a very back and forth, swingy kind of start, where neither team has been able to sustain buys for more than a round in a row. Can't even call it a row. It's isolated. 1 round buy, 1 round pistol, 1 round buy, 1 round pistol. And it's not sustainable for either side, although it's worse for the CTs, is they're the ones who have to spend more money per round to buy things. Molotovs are $200 more, kits are $400. The gun itself, if you go for the cheap variant, is $200 more, $400 more for the A4. And Reason have abandoned A this time. They're going for these very aggressive, cut the map in halftime tactics, but if it gets exposed, it's going to be pretty tough to recover, especially on pistols, not so much on guns, but still hard. Frankie deals with a little bit of a mid-push. Now there is some rotation back towards A, but they're too late to the party. Dare and Snav are going to entry in. Classic Timberman duo, and J-Dubs now will go down last. There's 2 in a row finally for somebody, and it's Badass who claim it. They can start to grow things on the T side of Anubis, which seems to be the favored side for the most part here, from what we've seen on CS2.
Reason technically did have 2 in a row. They lost pistol, won the following 2. But again, that damage kept their economy humble, to say the least.
Well,
it's come
gun
crashing
rounds.
down.
Nobody's
gun
had
rounds.
2 gun rounds in a row. like, until now.
That's fair. It's pistols and 2 flashes for Reason. A stack towards B. Probably a pop out if I had to guess. Is there anyone holding? Yes, one person. That's Shane. He'll fall back and grab the bomb and head for the hills as well. He knows what's coming. Get some support from middle. Frankie, though, needs to be careful not to get overran. He's holding, spraying. It's Belabor, but he'll find 2 at least. Shane obfuscates to cross back, staying alive, and Constance's the next hurdle to cross. Shane drops great. Constance the second. The last alive is Beaky on only USP, and through the smoke, he's sprayed it down. Smoke turned out a wall. Only thin, wavy, obfuscating strands of... I don't even know what I'm going for anymore. It's a wall, but only a visible one. There we go. That's easy enough. Badass in the driver's seat now. It is, once again, the pick of Reason.
So
Badass find themselves ahead.
it's an illusion wall. It's a wall of illusion.
An illusory wall, maybe?
Yeah, because it's not physically there, but it looks like it's there.
It looks like it's there. I'm too tired for this.
There.
Changing the pace out to B, and trades go the way Badass nearly goes. The op of Beaky's going to be able to rain on the back of Plat. He'll do damage, though. Good amount at that. He'll actually find another Danejoris support. He's got enough time. Beaky leaving just Frankie the last alive. 1v3. He'll find a single. Is it a single? No, it was a pair. Excuse me. Dane recovers the op. An expensive round for Reason, but a good rebuke of a B-site take.
A very solid rebuttal there, and a good response for Reason to get back on the board here, keeping Badass at least somewhat honest economically. There still is quite a bit of money for the T side to work with, and Reason are finding themselves with a saved op and 3 MP9s, 1 A1S on Danejoris. And Beaky returns to mid with that op. Is that a Safari Mesh?
A drip check.
Because if it is, I respect it. I got a Safari Mesh to drop, I think, last week. And I actually have used it as my active play skin a few times.
You know you're down bad when you're using an op Safari Mesh at this level. Hyza.
It's for the memes, Nate.
Oh, I know. Psychological warfare.
Oh.
Idle is the call for an MP9, and so is E-Box. Both finding success, strangely enough, versus rifles.
E-Box makes sense. Middle's a little peculiar.
Yeah, they were holding for pushes. We've seen Badass change their approach. They've gone from that slow, pensive style we talked about before, something a little bit more aggressive and conventional, and unfortunately for them, it's not finding much success. A player E-Box falls, but not before that player middle, as we mentioned, found by Hyza. Rifles picked up, making this a Reason investment all the scarier. There's still ops on both sides, though, and Dare trying to make room for himself in towards Khan. Or E-Box, excuse me, finds nothing. Shane trades. Boggs, I want to note, Dare's staying on a rifle. Consti's picking up the big green.
Are they trying something new? If they, I mean, I don't hate it because Dare's also a very good rifler, and he cannot play the same aggressive style in CS2 as he likes in like 2 and Go. Maybe it's a role change for Dare, and while Dare was actually one of the more promising operators in North America, this could work out. Consti with the op makes it work for 1, but he's got 2 more to find. Here's the drop of Hyza and snipes him down, all up to Grape. The shadow shows, and Consti denies the opportunity. Perhaps the new opper of Badass pulls off a nice 1v3 with an op in CS2. That is not something we have seen maybe more than once in about the 17 or so best of 3s we have covered since the initiation into CS2. Consti remains on the op, and there's no reason why he shouldn't after that kind of performance. And, well, I think Badass might have just found the world's best Counter-Strike 2 opper.
Yeah, the only opper better on CS2 than CSGO, perhaps. And hold on to him, because I have not seen a 1v3, not in my memory.
He had that Penny 1v2, but he finished out with a pistol.
Yeah, it was not a triple op. It was even a 1v2, not a 1v3. All across the board, better for Consti than that one, I'll say it. Good start for the Deagle, though. At least trades. Dane for Snav. That rifle's not recovered, and that's the Deagle drop. There's no other Deagles on the board for Reason. A P250, a P2K, a 5.7, and a USP. J-Dubs at least has armor. That Kevlar. Badass. RB needs to group up. They're playing their game. It's going to be a B play. There's only one defender here as well. It's J-Dubs, and I think he's in towards E-Box, maybe back plat. It's back plat. No utility. You have to try and hold on as long as possible. Maybe sit in the corner and wait and try to stall the plant.
Is he going to swing and stop it? No. Shaden is safe. But J-Dubs is still here to cause some chaos. Grape rotating in. Spams away. J-Dubs now peeks his timing wrong as Shane delivers a killing blow. Frankie domes Grape. Beaky will just probably save that AK. Kaiza will group up with him from the looks of things. Although now he starts to sprint a little more forward. Maybe looking for an exit. Extra gun would be nice. Does have that Molotov available as well. Beaky also playing in a bit of an exit position, but it's not like the economic damage is that impactful at this point of the game. It's 6 now on the board for Badass as well. Again, the map pick of Reason here, as it says at the top left of the mini map. Down goes Heiza. Beaky should be fine. And that's really the important part, is keeping that AK alive.
Yes, it is. Brings in something for the following round. Reason calling a tactical timeout makes sense. They are struggling at this stage once the rifles have come through. What exactly do they want to go for in terms of an investment? Do they want to mess with the op again? Actually hamstring their economy a little bit too much, perhaps. Beaky could pick it up at the cost of armor. But it should probably be full rifles instead. I don't hate the call. Okay, never mind. There it is. He drops the rifle to J-Dubs, who can get utility, Kevlar, everything he wants. Beaky, though. Literally a glass cannon. No pistol, no Kevlar, no helmet, no utility, no kit.
No kit. Well, one kit. No Kevlar for Beaky. That's a bit of an issue. Nate can really ruin his day, Nate. In comes that op, though, and that's a dry fight. He's still stuck in E-Box, not able to back out of there, but he finally gets his way through. No refrag attempted. Now Beaky's peeking B main. The man has no fear.
No fear. Caught a player walking, that was Dare. I'm going to say the former opper for Badass. Now Snap's like in a very hard spot outside of E-Box. We'll use that smoke to get in the corner. We've seen that area get spammed. This time around, Grape will wait for him to walk through before getting the kill. Furthering the advantage, Snap trying to be a hero is caught, called out. Remaining trio for Badass, walking middle. There's 2 players waiting here in the third in rotation. Beaky's here, J-Dubs as well. Consti only good for 1. Good trades. Frankie on 1v3 will not expect the player in the corner. That's a free kill for Heiza. Again, the substitute for Mello. Reason at long last a 4th on the board. 2 rounds left in this first half.
Two more rounds to go, and Reason have a reasonable chance to tie if they can finish this one off. That's the crazy part, too. They started off back and forth, let it slip for a bit, and now they're in a potential tie 6-6 scoreline going into half number 2. That is very, very good for Reason. Not so great to be in this position for Badass. They're on the edge of a reset. No op to counter Beaky, who just made it work with the glass cannon. Consti boosted up, though. Nade will do a little bit of damage overall, but Heiza tagged so low. He's going to get run down, but he's able to slip by. Now Dare can put him down, leading the charge, and Shane follows it up as Dane gets the trade. Still a 2-for-1, definitely favors the Badass side of things, as Grape and J-Dub focusing back in the middle. Nade will not work as there's a secondary smoke in the line. Beaky misses that op shot in heaven. He almost gets sent down to the depth of hell. Constantly finally sends him away. As Grape and J-Dub's on a rotation into the B, to the A side, excuse me. Consti not able to take a shot there. It's a great peek by J-Dubs. This is a little more winnable now into 2v3 instead of a 1v or 2v4, but yeah, it's nice from J-Dubs. All out of ammunition, though. Swaps over to the off. Peeks into Frankie. snap. Can he hold the line? No! J-Dubs picks up the op, and he pops a couple of heads, gets the job done with a 4-piece, and the 2v4 essentially turns into a 1v4 because J-Dubs does all the work. Grapes just along for the ride.
Grape's been along for the ride. I'm going to say it. 1-9. Quieter approach. He threw some utility, if I'm not mistaken, but that was a J-Dubs round through and through. The first pair on the M4. The first shot very quick onto the Opper. The second as well, equally quick with the A1S. The third and fourth from the Op, looking incredibly solid from him. Good quick scopes, good reactions. You're seeing some explosive individual performances in this best of 3 thus far. Reason the performance like that might just find themselves even a tied ball game going into the second half.
Bomb plant, it's some solace for Badass. They have some rifles to work with, but the distinct lack of utility is a big issue. J-Dubs popping off with the rifle and the sniper. Slow, methodical round again from Badass, though, as the timer ticks down to 1 minute even. Dane, Heiza, hanging up on side A. Grape in mid. 2-1-2 for the CT side. But 4 outside A, ready to explode on Badass. Smoke will delay. That's a well-timed smoke as well as time. Down below 40 seconds. Badass have to make a move. They still are waiting out this smoke nade. They're still holding. They're not going to go in. Finally, utility starts to fly into the site. The nade to blow open the smoke. Dane's on pull. He can shut it all down. Heiza swings first. Dane swings next. Takes down a pair. Goes down next. But in comes Grape in middle. And all up to Constantine now in a 1v4. He's done it with the op, but he will not do it with a Galil. It's a 6-6 half as we head to the break.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. A back and forth first half headlined by individual performances leads us to even footing 6-6. Pineapple Phillips and Boggs on the mic. And the reason now on the T side, the favor side of Anubis, their own map pick. One set of utility for Grape, a P250 Super Soldier for Beaky, and a Kit Smoke on the other side for Snav. Aggression middle is the call for Reason. Looks like an ace split is on the cards as well, but Snav, that won't stop him from finding one through the smoke. It's trades back and forth, the 3 versus 3 secured. Badass retaking all through CT deep, and Beaky, Super P250 on a flank. Danejoris on site will be the first contact. He has to delay as long as possible for this flanking player. He's found the first of solid start, a second on the cards as well. He finds it with the last rounds of the magazine, dropping Frankie, the last alive is Snav. He's gushed, he's down. J-Dubs does him in, and Reason establish a lead 7-6 off of the pistol round victory.
That's a critical pistol, too, for Reason, because that denies letting Badass get both pistols in the game. Now, I think for Reason, if they can convert this next round, they can start to roll on forward towards victory against Badass here. Also, Nate, I came up with a little song. Super Beaky P250.
It's a song?
Hero with a Kevlar vest. P250 power.
All right. You know, it needs some music, I think. To really
Just
flesh
the
out as a
Teenage
song.
Mutant Ninja Turtle sound.
Yeah,
old
that's
song.
true. Could definitely work. It's a save for Badass. USPs and 1 Deagle for Snav. Oh, with a flash for maybe an explosive retake to do the damage. Frankie, though, is the one to find the opening onto highs that stand him. Caught through the edge of the smoke. Great little plant nonetheless. He does drop Frankie. Now the main goal for Reason. Keep this convincing. Don't let anybody else fall. They failed in that endeavor now. Shane finds one. A trade onto Beaky. Dane on the Mac 10 is harvesting. Snav on this flank. Eagle caught looking the wrong way. It's the last in heaven. Constantly 12 HP. At this point, Danejoris should be looking for an upgrade. Won the final kill. The Galil is down near him. Will he grab it? Yes, he shall. 8-6. Reason and Danejoris by extension take their lead. Establish it now 2 rounds ahead. Danejoris, also the spear point for the squad. 16 kills to his name by the start of round 15.
Yeah. Dane's having a good game. Double Mac 10s, but there's only 1 helmet on Badass? All right, the Macs can wreck here. They can just run in and destroy. This is going to get awkward for Frankie. He is not the adorned player. And there goes the Mac 10. Flash comes in a little late. That wouldn't have mattered. Dane had that one dead to rights. The headshot was just icing on the proverbial cake. Retake will be on here for Badass, at least a tentative one, barring a pick. If they do not get the pick momentarily, they probably will call it a save. But a Reason are in a good spot to grab that 3-round lead here. Shane has pushed into heaven. He sees nothing. It's a very strong post-plant hold from Reason. They're not going to over-aggress, and they don't have to. They also have A main secured for the exit. So they do not get traded. They do not die to the explosion of the C4 on site. They just want a flawless round here with 1 kill. Maybe 2, but
they're exiting, though, through a dangerous spot. But those rifles can be dropped. Yeah, the Galil and the Mac 10 for 2 kills. Take that every day of the week. Snav and Consti will survive. I think this is the first save that we have seen in this map.
there's the buy-up. And a half for a Badass. They're going to half buy around this one here. Deagles in the hands of the unadorned players. No rifles for them. Just the 2 saved M4s. Minimal utility around this. Just 2 smokes and 2 flashbangs. 0 defuse kits, and Shane doesn't even have a vest in this round. There's one opener from Hyza. And Snav, one of those 2 rifles, has been felled. Grape takes a little bit of damage, but he's still alive and kicking. No real danger to his life yet. There's a reason they're looking towards double digits here. It is their map pick. It is Anubis, a map which Badass have not played pretty much ever. But this doesn't bode well for Badass moving on towards map number 2 of Ancient either. I mean, Reason are looking so much more comfortable as far as CS2 is concerned. One answer back from Shane and an M4 in his hands, but is he even going to attempt this? Because Consti keeps backing away. He's holding S, and he's just going to hide in a corner. Shane will probably have to do the same here. No armor on the M4A1.
He goes all the way around and B through B.
Oh, he's got
CT.
this for free. He's got this
free on the one. Oh, Consti reacted but didn't actually pull the trigger. Shane, the last alive. He's had a decent map for himself. Actually, almost everyone on Badass has not done bad. It's a simple issue that Reason are doing better. Reason has 3 heavy hitters in Beaky, J-Dubs, and Danejoris. Heiza also doing his job as the stand-in as best he can. J-Dubs won't spot the one. He will actually get felled. Beaky, does he get the upgrade at least? I don't think so. Shane on the Deagle gets a parting gift, but he still falls. Beaky shoots him in the back. Are those 2 kills really worth it in the grand scheme of things? Probably. They can reinvest, but the question is, how is Reason's economy? Is it hampered by those kills? It looks like it. Highs is low. Everybody else is actually looking okay for the most part.
They're looking all right. Timeout for Reason here, though. I think they just want to make sure they're not going to let this slip because they've got such an advantage, Nate, that they can just turn this one on and finish this one over. I mean, this is such a good look for Reason right now. The individuals, particularly Dane, J-Dubs, and Beaky, popping off. Heiss has done solid as a stand-in. Grape has just kind of, he's been there. He's kind of being moral support right now. But it's working. It's enough. Snav's not much better at 5 and 11. So when you look at the individuals have been superior for Reason over Badass, and I think he can only blame the map so far. The decision making that Badass have had, especially on the T side, was subpar, and on CT they've just been losing a lot of dry fights.
Yeah, I feel like Ancient's going to be a very different affair, though. They look more comfortable there. Actually have stats to go off of. Snap starts things off right for Badass. Shane doubles up. Great, only a single before Dare trades. Round is over very quickly. This quick play in towards B, shut down at the choke point. Beaky's the last in middle. He's been lurking around, looking for exits, looking for saving players on the rounds they win. Now he's forced to look for probing players in a round that they are very likely going to lose. He has just a Galil, no utility. A player watching for the flank in Frankie.
It's all down to timing here. If Beaky can get the drop on Frankie, then this is on. But Frankie's on the right angle. He's repositioned well. And Beaky jiggling, walking the wrong way. Down he goes. And now it's Reason with a bit of an awkward economic situation, a drop over towards Heiza. But I think Reason will have to change their game a little bit. They just got mowed down by one man, essentially on the B-side hold. Utility was minimal on that take, too. Was far from ideal. And they have to find a way to deal with Shane coming alive like that. The op is back in Beaky's hands, but Badass don't really give a lot of early opportunities for picks. As I say that, Dare's peeking in towards middle, but he just tosses the smoke and backs away. So Badass are going back to their more tentative, passive, almost turtle-esque play.
Slow down. Consti has his op. That's this Beaky. It is the focus for Reason. They're pressing through. Badass, though, already falling back as well. They're actually holding. Dare is here with an 8 in hand. Will he be ready for 2 at the doors? Heiza and Grape are both here. Throw a smoke into exit sign as well. Dare knows what's up. He's going to fall back even further. Has support from Consti. This is being read. The question is, can Badass hold their ground? Peeking from Grape, spots the shoulder, but Grape still wins. Dare up close has no better success either. Isa and Grape 1-1. Shane, though, another double on a spray, this time with the AK. Danejoris in B main, now has to do it all. He has support from the op. Will he expect the player close? He does, but he doesn't get the kill. Beaky now has to do a lot. The last two defenders are both here. Frankie makes his positioning known, and J-Dubs, he knows they're both here, but he's going to go in nonetheless. The bomb is B main. He'll find the first snap, caught at E-Box the second, on site expected, but Frankie has better execution. Badass win another 8-10, but it is a very costly round as everybody falls, barring Frankie.
Expensive, but Badass can weather the storm, at least this round. Next round, it's a different story, but they're not the team that has to worry about being broke just yet. Reason, they have no money. They'll go for a half buy, maybe just essentially a full eco. Beaky should get a couple of things. 5-7, or rather a Tech 9 rather for J-Dubs, and armor behind it. Beaky won't get anything he wants an op. Flash into smoke, that's it. This is one of the weakest buys Reason have had in this game, and no wonder this round does not look good for them. Badass should be able to get within one round here with relative ease. That opening nade onto the player's middle was a good start to that. Dare's going to back away, not get overwhelmed. Consti with the op holding this middle angle does have Snav to support. Without Snav, I would say that's a really aggressive angle against pistols that you don't need to do. J-Dubs and Beaky, though, a couple of kills. Bomb going down. That's a good start for the D's. And now a Molotov onto Consti. He's pushing in, and he misses the first shot he needed to land on J-Dubs. Block is out, and it will get the kill. Shane will mop up the last two. But a sketchy round for Badass again here against the Pistols. Either way, they're within one.
They are within one. That was a round that definitely could have gone the other direction, though, given those two opening picks. Consti's missed op shot on the player Heaven. He should have had that player dead to rights. One thing I'm noticing about Reason is that their plays are good and they're finding opening kills, but they're also very readable. They get mid control, they smoke exit. Of course, it's going to be a B split. Leave the players B watching B main and E box. Supplement the player holding mid. Badass being gifted quite a few rounds. We'll have to see if Reason can, again, mask their intentions or if they will go for these clearly broadcasted plays once more.
So you're saying their reasoning is too transparent?
Too straightforward, even.
I would have to agree. Another slow round from them, though. No real peaks here. Just holding. Frankie might get met with a Molotov. That comes down to a timing peek, and Frankie's ready for it. It's a flash thrown by J-Dubs, trying to self-flash into main, and he will be sprayed and punished. Still, it's a fake towards A with 3 players going B, or 4 rather, and what's the read here from Badass but having the extra rotation for 3 players to defend? Consti is over towards middle, keeping a nice eye on things, and Heiza might just get cleared out of canals as well. There's a nice shot, but he does take a ding. 2 players still have to hold, though. Shane and Dare. Dare won, but Grape doubles up. He's starting to come alive now when his team needs him, but it's still 2 players on the retake. Only 3 to hold. The op, though, does hamstring things a considerable amount. Let's can find an early pick onto Dane with that smoke fading. But no, he's fine. He's safe. Badass. There. That's made things more doable.
The op misses as well. Now things become interesting, but a repeat from Beaky is totally unexpected. He doubles down, in fact, winning the Opera's duel as the final casualty in the round. 11-9. Reason stand 2 away from taking their own map pick of Anubis. Badass on the CT side doing okay, but losing some critical fights and losing some critical opening duels as well that seem rather 50-50.
Yeah, I think losing the 50-50 duels is kind of what's costing Badass right now. They've had an opportunity, plenty of opportunities to win rounds if they would have just won 50-50 fights. And to go for a hockey analog here, Nate, there's 50-50 puck battles. If you lose your 50-50 puck battles, you're probably going to lose the game. The same thing goes for 50-50 fights. If you're losing the majority of your 50-50 fights, you're probably going to lose the game. They're called 50-50 for a reason, but if you're making them not 50-50 and slanted in your opponent's direction, they get so much more ground, so much more space, and so much more momentum. Not to mention it shatters CT economy, and Reason are now 2 rounds away from taking this map.
They are. That is their map pick. Ancient is map 2, waiting in the wings. Think of Badass. This buy from Badass is all over the place. It's half buy. 2 rifles, 2 eagles. At USP, getting the spot and the information towards the main. Probably continue off it though. Bolstered by the info that it is a pistol. And here comes the swings. Great, a good start. The USP only gets 1 dink, no kill. The second player in E-Box fares no better. Dare, hoping to be masqueraded or even overlooked by his teammates being felled earlier, is instead greeted by a spray of hot lead. Or analog metals, as we talked about. Modern day battles prohibit lead. Consti, Frankie. 2 versus 5. I'm going to say for the following, if I had to guess, the armor is useful. Frankie might scrounge around for a gun, but should be a clean one for Reason, barring any aggressive hunts.
An aggressive hunt from Consti, as a matter of fact. Frankie pops another. This has now become costly with a chance for... no chance anymore. Time's too far gone, but they're just looking for damage at this point. Damage and guns. Frankie goes down. Consti should be saving that safely. And it will be map point for Reason. 3 of them here. Hop salvage for Beaky over on the Reason side. But Nate, isn't it kind of sad how we went from cold steel to hot lead? Doesn't cold steel just sound so much cooler?
Don't romanticize sword fighting, Bugs. Savagery's far more brutal.
So you're saying hollow points aren't savagery?
No. Yes, wait. Different form, I would say. We'll call it min-maxing.
Just casual Wednesday night conversation.
Derailed. Average, overly fatigued Wednesday night conversation. A press forced in by the Molotov. Gives Heiza and J-Dubs an early dirt nap. Badass given an opportunity to come back to right their wrongs and to fight for overtime. 5 versus 3. Grape, Danejoris, Beaky. All creeping up middle. Looking to find a way to recover the round. Actually, Beaky going down below into canals and looking towards A main. A split appears to be the name of the game. It is being spotted by Dare. He got the info. He'll swing. He'll find one. Danejoris the next on the chopping block. And he is caught as well. But he does do a fair bit of damage. Beaky, the last alive in A main, might have been heard on the scope. He'll fall away and try to save the op for the following. Badass staying alive. 10-12. But they still need 2 more in a row to get to overtime.
2 more in a row, but they finally start winning some 50-50 duels, especially Dare over towards A. That E-Box fight, not necessarily what you would call a 50-50, but it was still a good adjustment here from Badass. 2 more rounds in a row. Maybe they can bring it all the way back. Be a tough battle, though. And then you still have overtime. Still MR3. But Badass keeping this clean, definitely going to help out a lot. And maybe a couple more AKs to salvage, too. Only 1 has been picked up so far by the CTs. And the money's not fantastic for Reason. I mean, Heiza's at 650, Grape at 1200. Beaky won't get any extra money. They might just find him. Dare goes down, but Shane trades that out. Worth. That is 100% worth it for Badass. Because now Beaky dies after the time has expired. Only 1,700 in the bank. 2,000 on Heiza. 2,600 on Grape. It's a half-buy territory for a reason, and they're going all in on this one. This is one of the riskiest calls they can make here. They could half-buy and give themselves a full in the next round, or they can go all in 2 rounds in a row. Kind of relying on a bomb plan to get them a strong buy. Gutsy. Bold move, Cotton. And so far, it does pan out as Frankie somehow doesn't come up with a kill after all that damage onto the rush in towards A. Great charges in, and the Tech 9 finds another. Bomb will be planted. Retake has to be here from Badass. They do have an HE and a couple of Molotovs, but the op will make things a lot more difficult, and Shane might just get dropped. Aiza catches him swapping to a Molly, tosses that out. This is not going to be an easy retake from the CT side whatsoever. That makes it a little better. And I think they might have just spotted J-Dubs on the platform with that utility being thrown. Aiza behind the boxes, Tech 9 there. 2v3, 2v3v1, and Snap will not last long. Aiza shuts him down, and Reason take their map pick. A little belabored at the end there, but they do close it out in the end.
Yes, they do better late than never. Don't require overtime. They make us believe in them, especially after that kind of back and forth wishy-washy first